Hello everyone, hope you all are well. So, today, before starting our new lecture, first of all, we will repeat all the main points which we had read in our last class. In our last class, we read about early medieval period and late medieval period. I told you that time period of 600 CE, from 600 CE to 1700 CE, that time period was called early medieval period, and that medieval period was divided into two phases, that's called early medieval period and late medieval period. Why this time period from 700 CE to 1200 CE, that is called early medieval period? Because after the death of Harsha, many regional kings came to make their huge empire like Harsha's. They mostly in this regional kings Pal, Pratihars, Rashtrakud, Cholas, Rajput, they all are came there. That's why that time period from 700 CE to 1200 CE, that time period was there no political stability in India. There was mostly political instability time period of India. After the 1200 CE, mostly the strong and powerful invaders came in India, and they make their huge empire for a long time. And that long time, in that long time period, that political stabilities and many development was also came in India. Mostly Delhi Sultanate and Mughal Empire was important empire of this time period, that is late medieval period. So, in early medieval periods, Pal, Pratihar, Rashtrakud, Chol, Rajput, they all regional king in early medieval period, and mostly Delhi Sultanate and Mughal Empire that made in late medieval period. That's why this time period is divided into two parts, that early medieval period and late medieval period. Now, second point was there, that impact. What is the impact of geographical features to made Indian history? For that, I told you about role of chronology and geographical location. About geographical location, I told you about Great Himalaya, that Himalaya have a natural barrier, but it have some small ranges that give small ways and entrance to invaders and traders who came in India by this way, and they settled after northern plain. Why they all are settled in northern plain? Because in northern plain many rivers flow there, that's why water resources was there. By the plain surface they can make their settlement easily, and mostly all the civilization that came in India, that was mostly developed in river bank and northern plain. That's why the geographical feature play an important role to make a history of a country. About chronology, for this word I told you, chronology means it is tell about the event which made time to time in history, and according to date and according to year, chronology tell about the most event which done in history by a series. After that, major historical development during medieval periods. After entrance of invader, which main historical development and changes was came in India, that is mostly are there, that political stability that I told you. After the Delhi Sultanate and after the Mughal Empire, that was the time period when political stability was situated in India for a long time. Changes in different level, in economic level, in social level, in political level, there was so many differences are there, and changes was coming there. Came with new ideas, all the traders came with their new ideas in trade, in cultivation, agriculture, in all fields they use in many ideas, and give their new suggestion for development of country. Centralization and regionalizations, these policies was also invented in India by the invaders. Centralization and regionalization. After that, Bhakti movement, Sufi movement, these also came with the invaders. Now, Today we will talk about the sources of medieval history, that which sources we have that give information about the medieval time period. There are two type sources are there. These are called archaeological source and literary source. Archaeological source and literary source. First of all, we will talk about the archaeological source. In archaeological source is also divided into different parts. There are epigraphic evidence, that is called inscriptions, numismatic evidence, that is called the coins, buildings, monuments, and artistic evidence. In that evidence, that painting is coming there. First of all, we will talk about the epigraphic evidence. Here one word is also coming there with epigraphic evidence, that is called the inscription. The study of inscriptions or epigraphs is known as epigraphy. Epigraphs are writing evidence on hard surface. These was written evidence. In written evidence which we are getting and to knowing about history, that is called the inscriptions. The inscriptions were written in various language. These all are written in various language, and mostly they are written on caves, walls, rocks, stone pillars. By them we are getting these type of inscriptions. These are called the epigraphic evidence. Second is coming here coins and numismatic evidence. You all know about coins. What is coins? Now you think that how coin give us the information about history. The coins were made of gold, silver and copper in history time, in ancient time. That you all know that gold, silver, copper, lots of type of coins we are getting from historical time. And the study of coin is called the numismatic. The study of coin is called the numismatic. The person who study these coins of numismatic, they give us different information by these coins. We got lots of information about the political, economical and cultural life of the time period. These all coins give us mostly they are give information about the economical position of the empire. Third thing is their buildings. In buildings and monuments, there are forts, place, temple, house and other structures are coming there. They give us lots of information about the archaeological architecture, skill and perfections in stone cutting, art of painting and brilliance of artisans, culture, society and lifestyle of the people. So buildings and monuments, they also give us lots of information about the medieval period. Now fourth point is coming here, paintings. How painting give us lots of information. The painting of medieval periods give us interesting insights into places, scenes and hunting scenes from mythology. Like this, these all information we are getting by the paintings. By study them, we get to know about the custom, tradition, jewelry and festivals. These all information we are getting by the paintings. You all have understood about the archaeological source. After that, now we will talk about the literary source. Now literary source is also divided into two parts. First is indigenous sources and second is foreign account. First of all, we will talk about indigenous sources. In medieval periods, we had all kind of writing by the contemporary writers like Babur, Jahangir, Akbar. They all have written their biography and give the fantastic information about the time period. The order of very important literary source of this periods are account by court historians who were appointed by these rulers. Another type of literary source are account written by scholars about the kings in which they are live. These books are lived there, and these books are called the court chronicles, like Raj Tarangini, which is written by Kalhan, Akbarnama, which is written by Abu Fazal, Prithviraj Rajso, which is written by Chandrapradai. These all writer write about the ruler that who was ruled there, about their court, about their work, about their condition, about their war, about, so all these things written by these in their books. Okay, so and mostly they are written only that ruler who are in India. That's why these literary sources are called indigenous sources. And some basic accounts is also written in this time period that is related to our religions, like Ramayana, Mahabharata. These all epics are written in different language in this time periods. Now we will talk about foreign account. What is foreign account? We have lots of information by the foreign account. Now you thought you will asking to me that ma'am, how we will get lots of information about India by the foreign accounts? That I told you, in different time period many foreigners and traders came in India, not only for settlement, they came in India for visiting, and that time period they visit different empire in different ruler time period, and that they move here and there, and they saw what is the real condition and real situation of India, and they wrote honestly that what they experienced and what they saw in India, and write there on note, write there on book. That's why we are getting lots of information by foreign books and foreign accounts about India. Like Al-Biruni, he was a Persian traveler, and he came the time period of Muhammad of Ghazni, and he wrote about all the he wrote all things and about all of Muhammad of Ghazni's empire. Ibn Battuta, he was came from Morocco, and he came on the time period when Muhammad bin Tughlaq was ruled here, and he wrote about about Muhammad bin Tughlaq and their empire. Marco Polo, he was Italian, and he was a Chinese. He was the court poet of a Chinese ruler, but he was came here and came in India and write all about the South India. He visit South India and tell about and write about all the information about South India. Abdul Razak, he was Persian. He was came in Vijayanagar and write about the kingdom, write about the people, write about the social and cultural activity of Vijayanagar. Sir Thomas Roy, he was ambassador of British king, but he was came in time period of Jahangir and write about the Mughal empire and about the Jahangir. So that's why we are getting lots of information about the foreign accounts. These two accounts, that endogenic sources and foreign accounts, they give us the different information about the India in different time period. Endogenic genus sources, these writings are only wrought by the Indians, and the foreign accounts, these are wrought by the all foreign people and traveler who came in India. So I think you all have understood and know about the chapter. So you will repeat all the chapter and try to understand this chapter, and after that I will give you some questions to related this chapter, and you will solve them. Clear? Okay.